Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
It sounds to me from this on a surface level, it sounds to me like there isn't like a clear approach to what you need to do. In other words, if you were a soldier and I said, we're in a war zone, and I said, just go out there and do something. My expectation is by the time I hear back from you, it'll probably be a total disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of collateral damage, nothing accomplished, maybe even injury or loss of equipment and ordnance. The result is very unlikely. But if you're a soldier and I said, here, you're going to sit through a briefing, you're this person, when the door gets breached, you're going to go right, and then you're going to look for this, you're going to respond to the threat, and then your job is to do this, this, and that. You're going to carry the hostages out or whatever the situation is, and here's where the chopper is going to pick you up, and then once you get back to base, here's what you need to do. If I gave you those instructions, I expect success. I expect you to come back with a successful result, but the field is going to dictate if you survive. That's kind of the difference here. So if your way is to kind of just sit and just sit there and kind of see what happens, just think of yourself as a soldier without orders. You're just out there kind of trying to respond to things without direction or training or objective. And that's just, I'm going to tell you that anybody who's been doing this a while will tell you that's a very hard way to do it. You're going to have a successful days doing that, but for the most part, I would say you're likely to come up empty. Do you feel that this describes your experience, or am I way off base here?
No, that's pretty bang on. Like
So
I'll have certain levels that I'm watching and but sometimes that just goes out the window.
So that's what I was going to recommend, and I think this is what you're going to hear from Nanaimo and Tendex is, at a minimum, look, you don't have to have a flow chart and a big wall of lines and connecting dots and text and stuff to do to trade. I mean, you can make it as simple as, okay, in my time frame, and this is my time frame. I'm going to use, let's call it a 15-minute chart. Not that I'm recommending that, but I'm going to use a 15-minute chart as my time frame to detect areas of support and resistance, and just put lines up, just like we do for stock zones or master levels. Just put lines up on a chart where you expect, under the assumption that there is a theoretical basis for why the market should stop there and turn. Put those lines up and start by tracking your performance with that simple a plan. So you're going to take that, you're going to say, okay, these are the areas that I'm going to engage. And then I like my moving averages, so I'm going to use my moving averages to, when they cross or when they do whatever you use, to enter. But I'm only going to do so once these areas have been tested and I can see what happened in those areas, and then I engage. And then otherwise, I am just sitting on my hands. Like, I'm not going to fire a shot unless there's a target for me to fire at. Otherwise, you get booted from the military. So this is kind of like a simplistic approach, but this has a much better outcome than a person who's just like, well, I'm going to sit down and kind of, listen to this video and maybe show up and just see what happens. You'll find that over time, you've wasted a lot of money and time.
If you've enjoyed this analogy, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified about each new Convergent Trading video.